Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
This is the Red Kingdom Media Live POSTGAME Show.
Welcome once again for the first time this season, the Red Kingdom Media Live post-game show. I'm your host, Clinton, and joined with me are my two pals, Dale and Lonnie. I know you've heard a lot of us over this offseason, but now we officially have a Week 1 matchup in the books to talk about. Your Kansas City Chiefs have defeated the Baltimore Ravens with a final score of 27-20, with an absolute nail-biter down to the very end on what could have been a very ticky-tacky call. The Chiefs were not getting those type of calls, fortunately, during the game, and they were fortunate enough to get the final result at the end that they were looking for, but not for a lack of scare. So overall, obviously, this was banner night. This was the first time that Chiefs Kingdom could come back in other than the preseason and celebrate their team. And the Chiefs were ready to showcase that. The festivities were on fire like they all normally are. And that they are ready and are aware of the task at hand for this three-peat. They've mentioned it a whole bunch themselves. So you know, they're not afraid of this moniker and this goal of trying to three-peat. I know, maybe last year we would have said, no, you don't want to tempt that. But they're willing and ready to lean into that and continue with that mindset. And, we're obviously going to go into more details here in a bit. But, overall, I think both sides of the ball played well. And other times they gave up something they shouldn't have or done something that they shouldn't have. But I feel like that's always the Chiefs. Every time we watch them, if they played their part, this game should have been 45-7. And because they didn't, it came down to the very wire. I had them getting 28 points this game, and you just convert two of those field goals to a touchdown. And arguably you could have had another score or two with the gifts that the defense was giving you. But overall, the Chiefs walk out of here Thursday night 1-0 on the season, the only team to play the game. So you get to have that bragging rights for a little bit. Not saying that amounts to anything, but you get to go into the weekend with a win. Wait to see what happens on Friday, but all the AFC matchups happen on Sunday for the Chiefs to pay attention to. So, not having to rely on Kelce as a primary receiving option is going to be huge for opening up the offense. Yes, sir. Absolutely agree. I had mentioned that at my seats. I was saying it was a second quarter and Travis Kelce did not have a target. And if you had made that statement last season, you would have thought the Chiefs were losing 14-0 already. And they just fell out of their ways. But the Chiefs have so many options. And think about this, guys. Hollywood Brown didn't even play this game. Could you imagine an additional weapon all on the field at the same time? It was very clear this game where the ball was going most of the time, but it didn't necessarily mean that Rasheed was the focal point of the offense. I just think he was getting the benefit of first, second, third option. There you are. Boom. First, second, there you are. Boom. Like just being the open guy on the progression. Rashee Rice was able to do that with flying colors. And if now that we have these wide receivers that can be more dependable, the drops happened. They are what they are. A couple of them we can blame on Mahomes. A couple of them can be blamed on the players. It's unavoidable. And the fact that it happened now and it happened all season, we're going to think the worst. But this group of receivers is not the same as last year. And I believe way more in this group in terms of their ability to adapt and get through hard situations than I did last season. So I'll open the floor up because it seems like the offense is the hot ticket and the thing that we were all been waiting for. So let me hear you guys' thoughts on what you like the most.
All right, you can go ahead, go first.
Yeah, it seems like you just singing the sentiments of all the Chiefs fans from last year. Y'all know Kansas City loves the high flying offense. I think it's back. Like I mentioned to Dale, once you see that end around, that is like a staple in the Kansas City offense. Some things have become staples, and a part of our offense is we showcase parts of our offense as a fan, you recognize and you know. That's an element in our offense that we didn't have in the past year. Really, in the past like 2 years, we hadn't been able to really showcase it. Kadarius Toney was able to do it a little bit, but we didn't have guys that was able to ever even hit it to the likes of Tyreek Hill, the way Tyreek Hill used to hit the hole. So to see Xavier Worthy come around on the edge on a pop pass and to hit it 90 miles going north and score in the end zone untouched is like. I think it let us know that we're finally back. So I think you're just sharing the same sentiments as a lot of Chiefs fans right now. They just love the offense. But I think we got to take our hats off to Steve Spagnuolo because he has his defense playing with a ton of moxie. The guys are they're playing with their nuts hanging. Like they're going out and getting stops when they're supposed to. They know the system to the T. They rally to the football. They're swarming. They're like I said. I think he's gotten to the point to where he's drafted guys, and they're guys that fully fit his system. Steve Spagnuolo has been with us 3 years now, so 3 or 4 years.
More than that. 5.
2019, the year we won.
5.
So he has his system fully in place. Nevertheless, so these are guys that he's drafted. He's hand select and picked to play his system, and it just shows. You can just tell by the football intelligence, the way that the leverage, they know where their leverage is going to be, the way that they're blitzing and flipping stuff at the line. Like these guys have played a long time together, and nothing sets apart. I think what stood out to me was the fourth down stop. If you see how the sideline reacted and how Trent McDuffie reacted, it was like there would have been so many questions going into the offseason on if the Chiefs will be able to step up and minus L'Jarius Sneed. That was the biggest question going into the offseason. And to see that we come out and on the biggest fourth down, one of the biggest fourth downs in the game, I think I think it was another fourth down, but one of the biggest stops in the game, Trent McDuffie comes out and he's not the guy that's supposed to even be out there covering and making the play. But he comes off. Chris Collinsworth makes a point to show he comes off and comes out and makes the play. He gets the stop on fourth down, comes down and in Trent McDuffie traditional fashion, crashing down, hitting, being the total opposite of who he's supposed to be, which is a small, frail guy that just wants to cover people. Like he's just playing like a 230, 6'2" Cam Chancellor, and he's the total opposite. So I think it's hats off to Steve Spagnuolo and what he does and what he's built over there. Like, I think I love the offense. We are back, but I think we got to pause 1 second for station identification for Steve Spagnuolo and what he's built with the defense.
Man, it was a phenomenal performance. Y'all see that I am kind of at that level of I'm T right now, and really I lost my voice earlier, so I'm gonna try to be cool. But as soon as Xavier Worthy took it to the crib, called Lonnie, I said, it's back. I said it immediately. I'm not going to hold back. I didn't care what it was. It was said then and there. And then later on in the game, you go down the field, down the sideline, catch it, go up the field, another touchdown. This offense is back to what we want it to be. Now, we have scored more points? We definitely could have. We probably could have got Juju in the end zone as well, too. He didn't, got hit with contact, wasn't able to hold on to it, and that's what it was. Patrick Mahomes threw his interception. We live and die with that with Pat. I think we're at the point now where it's like, okay, bro, you gonna throw it. I hope you do something that's like 2-3 times more better than like it's gonna make up for what you did, and that's fine. That's what happens when you have a gunslinger. Lonnie, you already said that before as well too. So I think at the end of the day, just seeing them come out there and they was playing with a lot of excitement as well too. You seen Pat out there laughing, he was enjoying himself. Now he made a couple mistakes. He could have had a couple things that could have went the other way, but I think he's like, it's here now, Pat. What you got to do now? Still don't run away from what was working with you in the last 2 years. The underneath is going to be there for you. Rashid Rice, Travis Kelce, and even Juju, when he started getting acclimated back into the system, you're going to have your safety blankets. Now, we have seen that Xavier Worthy can stick behind the second level and third level. Once Hollywood Brown come back, we have probably had that other element as well too, with two receivers that can do that. We're filling all gaps that we need. And guess what? Clinton, you said, nah, I need Kelce to do it. Noah Gray came up and woke up tonight. He said, I signed that contract. Give me the ball. I'm getting the first downs. I'm getting upfield. I'm getting those key blocks. So I think overall, was it the 40-point games that we used to see in 2018, 2019, and then when it was that? No. But it's way more efficient than what we seen last season. And then with the defense, we'll talk about them a lot later. And I say who my standout was right now because I know we'll get into it later. Jalen Watson. I mean, y'all know Trent McDuffie's my boy. He did what he was supposed to do. Already knew he was going to do that. But Jalen Watson looked kind of sad in the preseason games. He's not looking really good. He came out and said, I'm in Lamar's face. He intentionally, like when he saw him go field, I'm hitting you with a shoulder in doing. He was like, it's like he's getting that swagger of like, yes, bro, I'm taking quarterback too. Joshua Williams, what you're doing is cool. Shamari Connor, you're going to be the nickel guy, but I'm taking it over here. You're going to have to come through me. Follow Zay Flowers up the field. Could have got an interception if he, would have probably locked in a little bit earlier. However, we take those deflections as well. At the end of the day, I think they handled their assignments. They played well. That last drive with Lamar Jackson, you saw they was gassed. And Lamar was going to take advantage of that. One thing that people probably didn't realize, Derrick Henry wasn't out on that last drive as well, too. They was like, you know what? We're going with Justice Hill. And they needed that speed element. Now, I was looking at Derrick Henry throughout the entire game. He's not looking the same. And he's not looking the same. He's not looking the same. He looked a little gas, looked a little slot body. And you got to go in I formation for him. So it's going to be some things that they have to figure out on their side. But I will say, we can say whatever we want. Lamar got it down there to at least do what he had to do. Now, you did do this before I go ahead and pass it off. You had Zay Flowers for a touchdown. You ruined that. So y'all can talk about that toe tap, and they was a toe tap away. He still missed the throw that he should have had. And then we probably would have been talking about going into overtime, and this wouldn't be starting as it is right now. So that's all I got to say. I know we get more into it and have the conversations to get a little bit deeper, but initial thoughts, I'm happy, satisfied, 1-0. Get a little break before we go down to Cincinnati. Or are they coming here?
They coming here, boy.
They coming here. All right. So we'll be back next week on Sunday.
That's right. 10 days from now, we got another Chiefs game to cover. And it's another AFC North opponent. I think in terms from what I saw, it was very obvious to me that Lamar Jackson had decided that last year in the championship game, he lost because he decided to keep staying there and throwing the ball. And you could tell within about the first 5 seconds that Lamar was going to take off and run. So he pretty much decided that straight away. And, it was clear that he was not going to make that same mistake of needing to throw the ball to prove that that's what he does to win the game. He was going to do whatever it takes to win that game. So the missed catch in the end zone and the being just a little hair off of that throw to get in the end zone, that type of stuff cost him. But it was clear that Lamar Jackson was not going to treat this game like last time. And he knows the competitive advantage that you need to beat the Chiefs, even in the best of circumstances, let alone when, you have mistakes, riddle drives, and you give up a big play or you get sacked or something like that. So I'm glad they pulled out, but it still gave you some concern. The team isn't the same as they were last year, but they did give up more points to Baltimore this time around. So you got to keep that in mind. We really did not see a lot of defensive pressure. They were able to get home, I think, about twice, and they got that fumble recovery, but it ultimately didn't lead to anything. So it's important in those moments, if you're going to make a big time turnover, that the offense has to then pick up the slack and not immediately throw an interception or right back to them. Or Baltimore misses a field goal with arguably the best or second best kicker in all the NFL. And that's not going to happen again. And then you give the ball right back to them and let them kick it one last time before halftime. So
that's your gunslinger that you love.
But the Chiefs, they play dangerous games a lot of times. Like, they have a lot of faith in their players and their coaching staff, and eventually you have to realize that the other team has NFL players on it too, and so you just have to be more mindful of that. There was plenty of times where they got. The Ravens' biggest touchdown was a deep pass to their tight end, and the tight end was who they were feeding the ball to once the game actually had to be settled in the final minutes. And so it's clear that Mark Andrews is on his way out and Isaiah Likely's on the way in. So it's clear that he has a new tight end target that he likes. And Dale, you may have a point about Derrick Henry. Like, he did not have the type of performance, but to be fair, the Chiefs have always done a damn good job holding Derrick Henry to hardly nothing. And
the later part.
Yeah. And this entire time, they essentially held the Ravens. They had a 10-point lead on them for majority of the game. Mm-hmm. So when you're up 2 scores, that's exactly the recipe that, bit Baltimore last season in the postseason. Was they're a team that they need to lead, and they need to lead the whole game, and they just need to run the clock out. And once you're down 10 points, if you want to run the ball, cool, but you're chasing points, not clock time. So I think that also kind of dictated why we did not see as much of Derrick Henry as you probably would. But Lamar Jackson was the leading rusher with 122 yards.
Yeah.
So, that combined with his passing, the man had almost 400 yards. So Baltimore lost this game, and it wasn't for lack of trying. Lamar was doing just about everything he could by himself to win this game. So, hats off to him, and he's going to be a formidable foe. And you can argue, is he on that same level as Patrick Mahomes? Blah blah blah, and he's not a good quarterback. And the dude can win games and puts the team on his back, and he's a true leader. So you have to respect that and recognize game once you see that. So that's my key takeaway from this. Is just the fact that Lamar Jackson acted like he could do just about anything he wanted to do against our defense, and at other times he couldn't. So I trust in Spags to kind of figure stuff out. I wasn't expecting perfection by week 1, but you thought you'd see a little more polish, especially because of last year, them considering the defense the best unit of the team, and in Spags we trust. Trying to build upon that and use that into the next season, but it did not quite shape out that way. But overall, you can't be upset because they got the dub, they got the win. Send the fans home happy, and kind of pick up the pieces later. It's clear that the defense has some work to do, And it's clear that the offense can afford to not make a couple more mistakes. But that's pretty much been the Chiefs ever since Mahomes and Andy Reid have been together. They're going to do something to amaze you on one play, and then they're going to make you scratch your head the next play and think, well, that's it. That's the deal breaker. So as long as there's one extra possession and some time on the clock, you just got to give it time and just believe that Mahomes and them will break through. But during the regular season, it doesn't always work out that way. So just all that to say, the Chiefs were very fortunate that that toe did not get inside the line. And Dale, I'm going to counteract you. They were going for 2 if they got that.
He said it. He said it
about it. They were going to go for 2. And you know what they were going to do? They were going to keep it in Lamar's hands, and he was going to run forward. And if they couldn't make the tackle, then it was going to be Lamar Jackson who won the game. So we just have to be thankful that did not take place, because that was kind of the writing on the wall. But those little miscues on the Ravens side was enough to not come out with the victory, and was enough to fall behind and lose. So the Baltimore played a good game. They were obviously ready for this matchup, but it was kind of a back and forth there against the Chiefs defense for a while. It seemed like they had their number, but then they'd start running the ball with Lamar Jackson or finding their tight end over the middle. They were able to find the weak moments. I think their first scoring drive, they picked on the defensive end for a bit, just because they saw him and immediately picked on him. So it doesn't matter how great your roster is. If you've got one outlier, teams are going to circle that and focus on that all next week for that game. So the Chiefs offense and defense both have got to kind of do some soul searching and figure out what they're already struggling with, because we cannot have an instant like last year where it took all the way till after Christmas time to figure out what this team's identity is and to full throttle it. So this team is ready to have some shootouts. Whether or not the defense has to allow the point total to be similar, I don't know. But the offense clearly is in a position where if they are poised and ready, they can come out and score 5 touchdowns. Like they have that firepower now. And at that point, that should almost be the expectation or the standard, because we know that with their weapons and with their history and the experience, they should be able to accomplish that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I'm gonna counteract you and say that's just probably how you're feeling, because the defense only allowing 20 is good enough for me. I feel like Spag's game is 95% mental. He's not trying to play this, I'm gonna dominate you and hold you to 10 points or hold you to 5 yards in college. That's not how he wants to play the game. He wants to play the game to where how he played it today, where we're in the red zone. Lamar misses Zay Flowers. Oh my God, just because I just pissed down my leg because I haven't thrown the ball in like 5 possessions because I've been running it. He wants to play a mental game, I think, more than he wants to play the physical, just beat you up, run you out of the building, and not have you around. That's why I wanted to just say, I just feel like the defense shows just the ultimate Spagnola stamp. The Ravens brung it to a lot of people last year, right? You know what I'm saying? They brung it to people's front doors last year. They were the aggressor on defense last year. This game was not like that. And you could see it from the start. They were not the aggressors on defense. They were not the people bringing it to your front door. I think the Chiefs showed up prepared. It's just as far as defensively, and got the Ravens. They only scored that touchdown in the first half. Other than that, it was nothing done. So Spags had you figured out again. And then not only did you figure out in the AFC Championship in one of the most important games, he figured you out in your season opener where you had a whole bunch of time to prepare for him. So I don't feel that same way. I think the defense showed more than what they showed last year. They came out and built on top of what they had already done last year. We went into last year asking questions as to our defense is going to have to win this game. We were thankful that they were holding people to 20 or 21. Like, oh my God, they did more than what they're doing, more than what we expected. We expected them. I know we didn't expect them to come out and give up 30, seeing what they did last year, So like, I really peed on them and gave them 27. I said they was going to give up 27. And I really disrespected them. So I feel like it stamped it for me. Like, this is Spags is a head coach. Like they said, I wish Collinsworth would have never said anything about him coming down the sideline and calling timeout, because you said your coordinator can't call a timeout for you. So it's supposed to be your head coach. He almost got in trouble for that. And it was like, he should be a head coach, because now that might start the conversations about it being a head coach. Hopefully he doesn't. Nobody comes and gets him out of our building. The man has won 3 Super Bowls. He's single-handedly turned the defense right side up. Like, it gets no better than him. He's a master at what he's doing with the secondary, flipping guys all over the place. And like I said, he wants to get the game to where Lamar Jackson is doing what he's doing. He wants you to overthink. He doesn't care I don't care. I have a gunslinger on the other side that can score in 5 seconds too, just like you did. So I don't care if you're scoring touchdowns. I just want you to sit there and overthink. Because now I got you. You missed a guy wide open running in the back of the end zone because you're thinking somebody's going somewhere. Or he's probably thinking somebody's dropping. Or you're just trying to think. You're thinking too fast. It's too much going on. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to overload you with information. And that's why people can't think. Tom Brady was a mental masterclass, which is why he used to have our number. He could know where blitzers was coming from. He already knew what stuff was. No, Lamar's younger. Lamar, we know he's a questionable thrower of the football. So when it comes down to it, what do we want you to do? We want you to throw the ball. When we make you throw the ball, you see what happens. I'm sorry. That's what it is.
Yeah. I've been always someone who always gave props to the defense. That's why listen, it's like, all right, we mad. I'm not saying you're mad, Clint. I don't think you're mad at all. But like, for anyone who is like going out there saying, it's like, oh, this is a team that was doing 10, 16, probably 10 last year, and, holding teams to that much. I mean, I'm going to be honest. When your offense making that many mistakes, that's what a dynasty type team is supposed to do. Pick up the slack that your counterparts is not doing on the other side, which they were able to do. In this game, we got to understand that Lamar Jackson is coming out here. And he lost in the SEC championship game. He was an MVP. He only scored 10 points. And guess what he did tonight? He only scored 10 more points. And guess what our offense did? We scored 10 more points than what we did in the last game. It's like, if you're not going to come out here and literally just like, you got to come out really over the top. And when you're playing a team like the Chiefs, you can't have those miscues that you had tonight. Mark Andrews going down before the first down and stuff like that. Those are the mental errors that shows if you are a Super Bowl team or not. Are you going to be a Super Bowl or bust? And coming out playing like that against the champs, and then you having your revenge in the SEC championship game, this was your moment to say, like, we're not making the same mistakes as last year. Now, guess what? We have the mental game over you now. Guess what? We beat you at M&T Bank Stadium last year and win a Super Bowl. Guess what? You came back. Lamar, you said your legs wasn't working. You was hurt. And you still only put up 20 and lost. It's nothing that you can really say about that. And then I'm seeing the comments, everything in here, our fellow who always come in here and talk stuff. He's not even making sense. You're talking about Travis Kelce was the one who was helping us tighten up drives. Bro, he only had 3 receptions for 33 yards. Rashee Rice had 7 for 103. Xavier Worthy had 2 for 47. And guess what? He had a 20-yard running touchdown, and then he had a 20-yard bomb down the field as well, too. 20-yard plus. So I don't want to hear none of that. So Burrowhead coming in, make sure Jamar Chase is ready to go on Sunday, and that he's not going to carry this on going into next week. Because right now, you didn't even want to say who the best quarterback in the league in the top 100 video, because guess what? You know what's up. You sound stupid. You're going to sound ignorant. Now, guess what? I'm hyped, and the liquor is starting to kick in and starting to go up, and now I'm about to go ahead and say what I got to say. Y'all proud of that performance? Yes, I'm definitely proud of that performance. You're talking about 35 at least. We in the fucking NFL. Excuse me. I'm sorry about my language. We're in the NFL. We're playing against the number 1 defense in the league. Guess what? They came out and bullied them. They said, we in your face. Man, with an elbow to put Pacheco in. Lamar Jackson, he's not even doing that. He's not doing that. Burrow's not doing that. None of them is doing that.
They're not doing that.
And this is a guy who is supposed to have a big head, 3-time Super Bowl winner, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, and he playing like he's still fighting for a roster spot. That's why you're never going to be on his level. None of them. So, yeah, I'm up right now. But let me go over to the defensive side as well, too. Chanel. Nobody even brought him up. On Lamar, really, I don't care about the 100 yards. He stopped you when you was trying to go in on that third down, got there, right there. 4th down, had to kick a field goal. You didn't want to go for it. With spot because, I'm going to give Lamar his credit. He did what he had to do. He had to put them on his back. But guess what? What I say, Lonnie, again, I said, go ahead and let Lamar take over. Let him take over. We want you to let the one-man wrecking show go. I like Isaiah Likely. He's a good player. That's cool. Like, we like it. But you're getting on these dump offs. You're not going downfield. You're playing with time. You had 0 timeouts. Come on, bro. Hardball. You showing why you haven't won a Super Bowl since you lost to your brother. Not going to lie. And show you why you haven't went back to had trouble in the AFC Championship game. Y'all play with these analytics too much. Y'all play with it too much. In this defense, we're not the same. We're not just giving up, Anthony Hitchens is tackling you 17 yards down the field. That's not happening. We meeting Derrick Henry at the line of scrimmage like this. Trent McDuffie was about to blow him up. That's how serious. He said, I don't care. We out of that stage. We out of that stage. We don't care, bro. We don't care. We hitters. Shamari Connor coming in. I don't care about that first down. We putting that body to you. This is wearing you down. As you're going downfield wearing us down, you're tired too. You're moving around to the pocket. You're doing too much. You're trying to make something happen. You're messing with your head. Guess what? You down there right there, right? Still in the comments. 5-1 against Lamar and the Ravens. In the game they beat us, Clyde fumbled the ball. Guess he's not in here. I'm just saying. I'm just being real. I guess I'm lit right now. I'm gonna keep it G. I'm high off this dub because it's crazy.
All right,
and we chilling. 3P still in progress.
That's right.
We chilling. It's one.
Sure.
A shout out, Rod. Thanks for joining us in the comments, bro. So I don't got a lot else to say. I pretty much kind of already shed my case. I did want to I
was telling him he's not hyping the Ravens. My bad.
Yeah. But I did want to kind of respond to what you said, Dale, because you called out Lamar and Isaiah Likely, and both of those guys had some things to say in their press conference after the game was over. Lamar Jackson is very convinced that toe was not outside the line. So I guess he needs to get his eyes checked because it's very clear that there's white on white. But on top of that, we have an even better quote by supposedly the player of the game, Isaiah Likely. This is the worst we're going to play. So if that's the best they have, good luck in the postseason. And you're going to say that in week 1 after you just took an L? Are you sure that he's not the high one?
Hold on, what he said again? I gotta catch it. What did he say again?
He said this is the best we're gonna play.
No, Isaiah Likely said this is the worst we are going to play. So if that's the best the Chiefs have, good luck in the postseason.
It was enough to get it done. So, like you said, that was pretty stupid. Because if that's all the Chiefs had.
They had to pull Derrick. You had to pull Derrick Henry out. He was supposed to come in and just make everything go.
Dale took it there, but we didn't talk about that. But you had to pull him through the halfway.
I'm saying, likely you're not even supposed to be the starting tight end who going off like that, bro. It's cool. It's cool. I mean, it's like for real. Really, when you get tired of losing to a team, it does get irritating. And it doesn't matter how long you've been with the organization as well, too. You start to actually carry that anger that they have because like we saying this about the Ravens, every other organization is saying the same thing about us as well too. The only ones that's not saying as much, well, not saying as much, they always talk, but they, when they go at it, the Cincinnati Bengals, because with Burrow, they had the 3-1 over him, but what's making them mad is like we are still adding on to what y'all couldn't do. Like you had a chance, you didn't complete it. That's why you angry, because we came back the next year, beat you to go and win. Then we came back garbage, honestly, offensively, that entire year, come back and win. I know, here we go. It has started. And really, I want my money. I'm going to go ahead and call people out. Farley, I want my money. Others who wanted it, I'm going to talk to y'all.
Here we go. Yes. I'm sorry, because I wanted to get in here and be mad, but like I know people are just gonna be
not you, Rob.
They're really just upset because the Chiefs have shown that they're just superior still. Like people don't like that. The people want to see you fall off. People are waiting for the fall off, and it may be a slight drop off in some areas. It's still, because injuries are gonna happen. That's football, but we have to take our hats off and give credit where credit is due. They had the boys ready today to play, just as far as the season opener goes. Like, just as far as flying around, like the Ravens weren't ready to play. You don't get that many illegal formation penalties in a game. Like, that's just literally the same problem that the Chiefs had in the start of the season last year with Jawan Taylor. So for you to come in and commit the same penalty multiple times in the game, it's almost really just asinine. Like, are you serious? You have to be kidding me. Like, we dealt with this all year with Jawan Taylor last year. If you don't think it was going to be a point of emphasis, you had to be crazy. So, like, it just didn't make any sense to me. So, like, I feel like the Ravens weren't prepared. Like, the Chiefs were prepared. The Chiefs were the better prepared team, and it showed.
Yeah, I agree. And the fact that Lamar Jackson had basically flat out said he doesn't think anything about this game. So clearly he didn't think that it was worth extra effort. And sorry to say this, if you're going to beat the Chiefs and the Chiefs aren't going to shoot themselves in the foot 4 times and only do it twice, you're still going to have to play an A game and be one of those top teams / quarterbacks on that level to get them there. So let's go ahead and wrap up for the evening. I know y'all either trying to get as much sleep as you can before your Friday commute, or you flat out called in sick while the game was going on. So whatever the case, let's go ahead and round table here. Give us your takeaways for the game and what you are looking at for the week 2 matchup in 10 days against the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's my takeaway right there. I'm on that all day. Now, I'm a KG.
He's on that all year. I love it. Come to the Red King Media Stream.
I'm gonna keep it G. I'm gonna be, because I'm just be totally on. We can bet it. I'm gonna keep it. I'm on that all season now. I just saw Xavier Worthy do that, and Rashee Rice, and we got sophomore season and then a rookie. I'm cool. I bet that. I don't care. Like, I'm dead serious. We can 50. I don't care. I'm betting. I don't care. I'm betting. Not talking no more. Defense gonna do what they gotta do. I'm not.
Bet. Exactly. Thank you.
$100.
Thank you. Like, right. Dale is sharing the feelings, I think, of everybody that's Chiefs fans, and he's we try and be nice about it and humble about it, but like, when you win back-to-back championships, you can really come in feeling like that. But we take the time to not have our butt up on our shoulders, bro, and come down a little bit and talk about where we think we are flawed at. So, I mean, I'm with him. I think, like I said, we played a good game. We did everything we supposed to on both sides of the ball. They didn't really show me any weaknesses. Like you said, they did have some down there in the red zone, or just on that last drive looking gassed and stupid. We got to fix stuff like that. But, I mean, I think that comes with getting in shape over time. They'll fix that. But I'm confident all around for the boys. I mean, barring injury, we know we might have some injuries in there. I think they are primed and ready for the three-peat. And I think we win going away against Cincy. I want to see what they look like, but their secondary is going to have their hands full because the Chiefs are ready.
Agreed. Honestly, my two takeaways for this game is that offense is ready to fire. And if they can get their running backs to catch that damn wheel route, then this team should just blow other teams out of the water because their weapon selection and their ability to get the indicator, is it man or zone, and know on that play who to go to, like it just can't be beat. And the Chiefs had one season where their weapons were not up to par and they still got it done. So this offseason was like, that's not happening again. Let's drastically fix all of that. And just like all in one offseason, they fixed their offensive line, their wide receiver core, on top of the returning Rashee Rice. Like, Rod says 30 points. Bro, I said this is a 40 point. Like, there's no reason this team shouldn't get the ball and at least every other drive score a touchdown. They have way too many options to not be able to do that. And they were willing to lean on the run a little bit. It's clear that they're not going to focus on that at all unless they have to.
Exactly.
But, it's still in the playbook. They'll still utilize it. Guys, do you know how many touchdowns Patrick Mahomes had last season?
27.
Less than 30. The man started his first NFL season getting 50 touchdowns. I think we all assumed he was going to be a passing touchdown leader every year, if not close to. And last year just was not that. They are fixing that moniker this season. So if defenses didn't have them completely figured out last season, now you're going to have to do it with the even better weapons at their disposal. And it sounded like I was crapping on the defense. They had plenty of shutdowns. If they don't get a stop on every single drive, I'm not entirely satisfied with it. And that's my cross to bear.
Good.
But, I just want to see that continued growth. I want to see that continued growth, and I want to see it stay static. I want to see them be able to do it at the start of the game all the way to the end. I was bragging with Shannon the other day. The Denver Broncos gave up 6 touchdowns to the Miami Dolphins in one game last year. And the Chiefs gave up 3 total touchdowns over the course of 2 full games. So if we can have any sort of output like that for the defense, then yeah, I'm good. And I'm not saying I need my defense to hold us to 7 or 14 points. Just as long as that offense is comfortable that they're going to hold on to a lead or be able to get the lead at the very end of the game, I think we can almost assuredly be satisfied with the team and believe that they are putting in all their chips for this 3-peat chance.
Yeah, I really honestly agree with everything that y'all said, giving a real analysis of it instead of what just happened. Honestly, I am excited. I am ecstatic about what we do have for the foreseeable future. I can't wait to see them actually put all of this together when it comes to that. I think it is, still in that process of like, it's forming. It's forming. Then you're going to see an explosion. Hopefully, it's consistency out after that. But I do think that going into next week, just got to be prepared. Got to be ready to go. Don't go in with the mindset of worrying about how they're going to come about it because we're going to get that from every team. So just coming in knowing that hey, we're just on course of trying to really accomplish the goals that we have at hand. I think they'll be okay for that. So I think great job tonight. Got to clean up some things, but it's the first game of the season. And for you to have some of the mistakes that you did have as well, too, and put up 27 points in the season that we had last year, that probably would have been 10-17. just telling the honest to God truth. So just seeing the difference from now and knowing that, okay, we really have some guys to go to. I think Patrick Mahomes he's happy. I think he's definitely going to tee it up a lot more come next week and throughout the entire season. And defense, Spags, just keep on having the boys ready to go. They're going to be ready to go. Defensively, the defensive line, they could have had a better performance tonight, but at times they was rallying and was at least getting him outside the pocket. So hopefully next week with the quarterback that's not as mobile, we can capitalize and feed off of that and hopefully to start piling that up as the season goes. So can't wait. It's definitely going to be a fun year, and I think we're going to be more ecstatic about what we have going forward opposed to what we did have last year.
Absolutely. And the fact that we all get to end our Thursday night on a positive note, and your Super Bowl champions had their banner drop night and they got the dub in the same night. So you get that good sweet nectar taste versus the bitterness that happened last season. Let's continue to build on that. You have another tough AFC opponent coming into Arrowhead. Not Burrowhead. He's coming off an injury, but if anybody can compete with Patrick Mahomes, we know it's Joe Burrow, and we're not ashamed or afraid to admit that. But we just got to believe that this defense can figure stuff out, and that the offense is in full throttle mode. They are gonna step on the necks of anybody that have to get the win and get the championship, because they don't want to be that statistic that says that they couldn't get it done and they fell short. So they are working as hard as humanly possible to ensure that they reach their goals the way that they sought out to do. But I will not waste any more of our time this evening. I hope you all enjoy the next literal couple minutes as we're going live of this Thursday, but more importantly, enjoy your Friday, your Victory Friday, and the weekend ahead. Enjoy those NFL games where the outcome isn't a big deal to us, because we get to start out 1-0 and the only team that has that say right now until the Eagles and the Packers play. So Brax, maybe we'll hope for an Eagles win just so we can all be on the same playing field. But we can only say so much. So we're Red Kingdom media for a reason. We're not bleeding green, but we'll still help out and support our own. So, like I said, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there, but stay red and gold. As always, go
Chiefs.
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom Media.